Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network.
We're visiting the Mushrooms Door today in Parksville. It's a magical, whimsical portal into a world that's filled with woodland sprites and other kind of, well, endearing characters. On today's show, a light in the sky. What is it? We're going to show you. Ladysmith Junior Golf and a road trip to the White Rock Farmers Market. That and more in the next 30 minutes. You are watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. That's Candace Ripper, and she is the creator of all of the magical creatures that we're going to meet today in the Mushrooms Door, at the Mushrooms Door. And the reason we're here, actually, is a little while ago we posted calling out for host locations for Go Island on our Facebook page, Shaw TV Nanaimo, and several people replied. Candace was one of them, introducing some of her puppets and her creatures to us that we're going to share with you later on this edition of Go Island. But we're starting out in the night skies today. Have you ever looked up and said, what is that? It's not an airplane, it's not a satellite, it's not a kite. I don't know what it is. It's an unidentified flying object, and there has been several sightings in Nanaimo recently. That was such an awesome story to work on. We thank Neil very much for letting us let his cat out of the bag. The next time you see a light in the sky, maybe you'll think of Neil. He is trying to set the world's record for the highest single-string kite. I have a feeling he'll succeed. And we will be visiting Neil again to have a closer look at that head sled. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We're trying to figure out what this Woodland Sprites name might be. And I thought maybe Polly.
I think that sounds good. Penelope.
Okay.
Yay.
Now these are, and who's this guy?
For now, he's Frank. When he gets adopted, someone will rename him.
Now, how long have you been, this is Candace, and how long have you been making these puppets? It's hard not to talk and not.
It is, I know.
How did you get started with these guys? Because they're beautiful.
I started making soft sculptures and transitioned into puppets. It just seemed like a natural thing to do.
And there's a real accuracy to the anatomy as far as you can get with whimsical creatures like this.
Yes, as far as getting them out of my head from paper and making them actually real living little beings.
Yeah. Do you sketch them all out on paper ahead of time? Yeah. How long does it take to make one of these characters from start to finish?
My puppets take about 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
And my dolls take anywhere from a month to 6 months.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good attention span. Who is this dragon, and what's the story behind him? Because he is fabulous.
I had a vision in my head. I transferred it to a piece of paper, and I had to make him. I had to make him breathe. I had to make him come alive.
And you say he's not in the best shape these days. He's kind of seen some...
He's been through a lot of markets and fairs and a lot of people's hands and a lot of traveling.
Yeah. Where do you get your inspiration? Because they're very inspiring, and it must come to you from somewhere.
Jim Henson and Brian Froud are my two biggest influences. Growing up, I watched puppets all the time. I was obsessed.
And you still are.
I still am.
And you don't go to the markets anymore. You don't have to.
No, I'm taking off online. A lot of people from the States and entertainers, tons of people are buying them for entertaining. So they're out there in the world making people laugh.
And you do say that they get adopted.
They do get adopted.
And you can go online and have a look at the different characters and then form a little bit of a relationship with one and then decide to take them home and give them your own name. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, no problem.
We'll come back after a short break, and we're going to look at some of the other things that Candace puts her magic touch onto. Bye! Still to come today on Go Island, Ladysmith Junior Golf, life skills through boxing, and a road trip to White Rock. That and more still to come today on Go Island. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. These guys are brother and sister, and they are playing co-hosts on Go Island today. They're hanging around the Mushrooms Door in Parksville. They are up for adoption, and we're going to have a look at all of the other whimsical creatures, the Woodland Sprites, that are up for adoption later on this edition of Go Island. In the meantime, one of the great things about living on Vancouver Island is the opportunity to golf, not just this time of year, but of course all year round. But if you're going to head out to the greens, you need to learn how to play first. Haley Ferguson now looks at a junior golf program in Ladysmith. I don't know. Secret that the 19th hole is probably my favorite, but hey, any day out in this climate, this environment, in this beautiful scenery is a good day, whether it's on the golf course or not. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. Now, these guys have names online at the Mushrooms Door Facebook page, but you expect people to change their names.
I do, and they usually do once they get them in their hands and look into their eyes. Yeah.
And looking in their eyes, it's really like they really make eye contact with you, and you sort of end up building a relationship with these whimsical creatures. And each one has a very distinct personality.
Oh, for sure.
And do you take that into account when you're creating them?
I try to, but they take over. They become who they want to become in the end.
How does that work?
I can have a vision in my head of what I want them to look like and what I want them to be in the end.
Yeah.
But through the process, they just become whoever they want to be.
And who's this guy?
This was my first puppet ever, and he has a special place, and I'm not sure I'll ever be adopting him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he is 2 years old.
Yes.
And how do you describe his character and his personality? What type of person, if you can call him that, is he?
Well, I like to go to I like to be with people. I like to perform.
So he's a very social person.
He is.
He looks like he has a lot of fun.
A bit of a mischievous sprite.
Yeah, probably full of jokes and lots of laughs. Now, this little lady, on the other hand, she's a bit of a princess, perhaps?
Quite a diva, yes.
Quite a diva.
Yes.
Hang out with me, sister. And how many are up for adoption right now?
I have 11 up for adoption right now. And if you go to my Facebook page, you can find them all there.
Okay, and then do you have sort of a palette that you work from? Everyone is different, but there's similarities between them.
Yeah, I find that a flower or a piece of tulle will start the whole process. A color, it's usually a color.
Okay. Do you put different voices to them too? Do you play around?
When I'm making them, yes, they talk back.
Oh, and they get shipped all over the world.
They do.
And you put them in boxes and put air holes?
I would like to put air holes in sometimes, because when you put them in, they look back at you, and you have to seal the box up.
Yeah, he's just fabulous. Do you think you'll ever stop doing this?
I can't see it happening. No, I just love doing it.
You get lost in it.
I
and
do.
Excellent. Well,
They've
thank
taken
you
over.
for sharing some of these characters today. We're going to look at some of the other beautiful things that Candace creates here at the Mushrooms Door. In the meantime, we're going to head into the boxing ring, Genesis Boxing with Jocelyn Matway. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We're spending some time at the Mushrooms Door in Parksville today. Candace Ripper, we're learning, is quite an artist. These are some sketches that eventually turned their way into this guy. What do you call these characters?
These are my fairies and goblins.
Fairies and goblins. What is it about fairies and goblins and sort of the woodland fairies and spirits that attracts you so much?
They've just always spoken to me. When I was little, I'd run around in the yard pretending I was a fairy playing with sticks.
Oh.
It's just always been a part of me.
Look at the eyeball in here. Is there a story behind that? What's
This eyeball was hand-blown by a friend of mine, Chris Bruno, who's a glass artist on the island.
Right.
Yeah.
And is this sort of like a wisdom stick that he can...
It is. It's all-seeing, all-knowing.
All-seeing, all-knowing. And Candace, you were a little bit shy when we started flipping through the sketchbooks, but you gotta see, like, this little guy here. It's a mushroom, right?
Yes.
And he never actually came to life.
He never came to life, no. And I don't really know what it is about them that makes me want to make them in 3D in the flesh. Sometimes they're just good on paper, and that's where they need to stay.
Right. Do you frame or print your sketches at all? Wow. I'm always just so in awe of the artist capability and mind. And these are just you kind of goofing around.
Yes.
Candace is getting a bit shy.
I am.
You're going through all my sketchbooks. Now, there's other things that you do. These bags here are wonderful. Each one is a little bit different. When did you start making these?
These I've been making for about 5 years, and I've sold a lot of those at the markets in Parksville.
Right. Did you go to the Tuesday night Craig Street?
I did, all last summer.
And you're not going this year?
Not this year. I can't keep up.
You can't keep up. Wow, these are just great.
And every face is hand painted on the bags.
Wow. And I know we were talking earlier, and you haven't actually done any work for theater, stage, film. Is that something that you're hoping to move towards?
It would be fantastic, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then who's this guy? He looks really cool too up here. We're all over the place.
Quentin.
Quentin.
He's huge.
What's the story behind Quentin?
I just wanted to make somebody huge with a lot of impact to bring people in, and he was the result.
And some of them, I get the sense that they're for kids. But overall, I think that these are toys for the imagination of adults and grown-ups.
A lot of them. These ones especially are more of an art doll.
Right.
Yeah, that collectors will buy and have in their homes.
And you've, again, hand-painted?
He's all hand-painted. Started with just a piece of white cloth, and everything's hand-painted.
And how long would you take to make this guy come to life?
He's a bigger guy, so he took a good 3 months. Yeah. 3
months. Wow. Some machine stitched, some hand stitched, and oh, I'm jealous of the talent.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. One of the things, although you can't see Candace's work at farmers markets anymore, you can look at her work on Facebook, the Mushrooms Door page. But farmers market, of course, are still a fabulous place to go. Our next road trip takes us to the farmers market in White Rock with Dunya Tozy. We're flipping through Candace Ripper's sketchbook. This was your first doll?
The first doll I ever made. She lives in New York now.
Oh, what a jet setter
Yes,
she
was.
is. And the next one that we can look at is, oh, look at the colors on that. Very different style in the teeth from what we've seen from you so far.
I love painting. I used to do mural work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then another one. Oh, look at him. And he was the early incarnation of
my giant Beasley there.
Beasley.
Yeah.
He looks like a Beasley. It's been so fun meeting all of these characters at the Mushrooms Door in Parksville. That brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to have us come host a show with you, you can send an email to kate.bergen@sjrb.ca. We'll see you next time.
Go Island is brought to you by German Auto Import Network. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions. Kate's hair and aesthetics provided by Matteo Salon.